Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to this series on spring cleaning. So, I had to go into recovery. This week's about the kitchen, and I had to really go into almost had to go into respite care. Never mind recovery after the kitchen. I'll tell you now, this is not for the faint-hearted. This series is all about what absolutely gobsmacks me that I find when I start cleaning and the things that I keep just in case. This experience in the kitchen was a whole other level, I'll tell you now. I honestly nearly didn't come on, but I felt it was quite important to share this part of me that a lot of you may not know about. And I thought in my sharing, if I could get out there and tell the world about what I found in my kitchen, it might liberate other men and women to do the same. So I'd like you to be gentle with me, because I'll tell you now, this is not easy. This room is divided up into the dining area, and this is the kitchen area, and I started over there in the corner. And the first thing I went to lift was the toaster. Now, I discovered there was a whole ecosystem over there thriving on its own without my interference, and I concluded that in fact there was more wildlife in my kitchen than there was in my garden, but it wasn't pleasant. The toaster went immediately in the bin. Now you might say, well, surely you should have held on to it and taken it up to the tip. No, absolutely not at all. Straight in the bin. And some of you might continue to say, well, you could have just put it in the shed or something and taken it after we were all allowed to go out. Absolutely not at all. And what I would say to you is, you'll just be very glad you never had a bit of toast in my house. So after the toaster came the spice rack. So I lifted the spice rack and I took it outside, and lo and behold, a very pregnant spider underneath, just about to give birth. So fortunately, I just done the kitchen just in time, got the spice rack out. God knows how many, what are they called? Arachnia. Don't know if that's the right word. I've now got images of spiders the size of the kitchen. Anyway, she's probably happily down the garden looking after her young ones, and not in my kitchen, I'm very grateful to say. But here comes a question. It's one of the great mysteries of life, don't you think? When you've got a spider's web outside and you look at it in the glistening morning sun with the dew upon it, and you see all the colours of the rainbow, it's a sight to behold, and it fills your heart with joy. How does it get from that to being a cobweb? So answers please in the comments below. But I didn't even know I had cobwebs. Have it not been for this pandemic, I wouldn't even have known that there were cobwebs on my ceiling. And many of them, I might add. You see, when I go out to go to the shop at all, when I come in, I make sure I gargle with salt water, just in case, to clear all infection that I might have picked up. And of course, when you gargle, what do? You have to lift your head up. And there it was. A whole world up there of cobwebs. Well, I'll tell you now, they're not up there anymore. But please, when does a beautiful spider's web become a cobweb? And deeply unpleasant. It's like most things transform from beauty. No, not from beauty. From something not so pleasant into beauty. But it seems to be the other way around with the cobweb. So anyway, I honest to goodness do not know how you people out there who normally employ a cleaner are coping. Seriously, how are you doing it on your own? My heart goes out to you. You know, some of you must be completely stressed out, in therapy, or just giving up. So I'm hoping that here today I just give you a little bit of inspiration and hope for the future. I was also thinking of reaching out to Elon Musk and saying, listen, Elon, could you take a wee break and send the satellites up and maybe just take a wee bit of time out and come and design a few wee pieces of equipment to help us in our homes with cleaning? You never know. If any of you know him, just send him a wee message, would you? Then the other thing I would like to ask, now, I'm just looking at my notes to make sure I'm not missing anything here, and I'm certainly not. I'm on task, I'm on form today. Is, big question, who designs kitchen cupboards? Is there a wee man out there that has nothing better to do with his time than design cupboards that are of no use to man or beast? You know the cupboard I'm talking about? You know the cupboard that goes way back into the corner that you can't get anything in and is of no use? Now, I've been doing a lot of classes since we've been in shutdown, you know, a lot of Pilates and yoga and all that. And honest to God, I am so grateful I have been doing them, because I'll tell you, some of the positions I've had to get in since doing this cleaning, I've had to climb ladders, I've been on my hands and knees on the floor, and I'll tell you now, that downward dog has come in very useful. But these cupboards that go right into the corner, I had to get half of my body in there. I had to crawl in on my hands and knees. And even then, I could hardly get to the back to clean it out. I reckon actually those cupboards aren't much use to man, but probably quite a few beasts in there, given my kitchen. Anyway, so this is all about what I find that absolutely gobsmacks me. So I'll start by going back to the spice rack. So here we go. Now you see, the other thing I noticed about all this is it's all very well doing this cleaning. Like I found I think it was about 6 mason jars, you know, those storage jars full of things unidentifiable. At a rough guess, I thought they were quinoa or ground almonds, something like that, you know, but of course, not labelled. So they all had to be emptied, and I thought, that's great, empty them, but then you realise you have to wash them. It's never an easy task, is it? You know, one thing seems to lead to another thing, to another thing. I don't know how you all do this year in and year out. Anyway, so the spice jars. Here we go. So you know the wee spice jars that you get. So ground turmeric, empty. Ground paprika, empty. But here we go with, these are a few of my favourites. I don't want to go through them all, you know. But, so freeze-dried tarragon, just as well the label's on that, because as you can see, there's hardly a bit of green in sight. 2006, nutmeg, August 12, 2007, allspice, 2005, mixed spice, that's only 15 years old, for goodness sake. Ground coriander, May 2008. Now this one, Chinese 5-spice, there is no sell-by date on it, so I reckon this maybe came out before there was some kind of legislation introduced to whereby you had to put a sell-by date on it. And there's a few more, but I won't bore you with them all. But this is my favourite, peri peri chicken. And it says on it, shake well before use. Well, here we go. Not a single movement. And perhaps somebody could tell me, what are these for? You see, these are the sorts of things you hold on to just in case, don't you? I've got 2 of these. Yep, they're definitely the just in case box. And what I realised after I got rid of all these, I'm actually going to have to empty all of these, wash them out before putting them in the recycle bin. And you know what? My recycle bins are fuller than my cupboards are now. Then there's all the refills, isn't there, for the jars, all full of wee bits. So, organic mixed spice, all empty boxes, organic ground coriander, bay leaves, miso paste, organic turmeric, thyme. These all have to go in the recycle bin, oregano, organic basil, bouquet garni, mulled wine, pickled spice, organic black seeds, and on and on and on they go. Empty boxes. Okay, let's carry on with obviously things I keep just in case. Now, I find this one particularly interesting. 1 bag of dog biscuits, 2 bags of dog biscuits, 3 bags of dog biscuits, and a 4th bag of dog biscuits. And I don't have a dog. I used to have a dog 3 years ago. So I'm obviously keeping these just in case I'm about to witness a resurrection and he's going to come back and get them. Then, of course, in the cupboards, I got out all the jars of stuff that have gone past their sell-by date. Like, for instance, marmalade, sauces, tins of stuff. There was a tin of pineapple, and you can't put the tin in the bin with the pineapple in it, can you? So you have to open the pineapple, the tin, get rid of the pineapple, wash the tin, put the tin in the bin. And I'll tell you now, emptying all those jars, Levi's Reggie sauce, burger sauce, and pineapple juice, and God knows what else go down the sink, was not a pleasant smell. And I just drew the limit, when I got to the coconut peanut butter, and I thought, you know what, I am not scooping all that out and washing it. So I just put it in the recycle bin and hid it under the bottles of vodka. Well, the empty bottles of vodka, actually. So here we go. Lids. 1 lid. 2 lids. 3 lid. 4 lid. Just lids, obviously keeping them just in case as well, in case I might find the bottoms of them somewhere. So I think that's about it, really. That's about it in terms of what I found. Now, last time I did a video, you said to me, people had written in sharing with me. Now, I really appreciate if you share with me. Please share with me all those things that you find that you're absolutely gobsmacked about or you're keeping just in case. Share your experiences of cleaning. I've had a couple of people actually have written in and said, Gwen, I'm sorry, I can't watch your videos because I just feel too guilty and I just don't feel like cleaning. Well, this is not the point of this, This is not the point to make anybody feel bad. This is us about being able to share how we feel about cleaning, how we feel about our hoarding zone. Yeah, well, it is a zone, isn't it? Our hoarding gene. The number of things that we're holding on to, and particularly at this time that we could let go of. The opportunity to clear and release, and whether it's emotionally, spiritually, or physically. This is what this is all about. This is time to liberate us from our chains and speak our truths. So anyway, I've only got one more part to do, and that'll be the final in the series. There was a wee delay, you know, in between this and the last one, because somebody introduced me to a great series called The Last Kingdom. And I'll tell you now, oh, there's a few fit boys and girls in that. So lots of love, bless you all. Give me all the posts and comments you want, because I read them all and I reply to them all. All the best now. Bye.